Hello all, Shadwell here, ready to talk about the next film in my collection, The Cat and the Canary from 1927. It's the third film in the American silent horror film collection, is directed by Paul Lenny, and stars Laura LaPlante and Creighton Hall. So far out of this collection, called the American Silent Horror Films Collection, we've had two movies that don't really qualify as horror. The first, The Man Who Laughs, was more of a romance with potentially frightening images in the spirit of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And the second film, The Penalty, was more of a crime drama that hinted at maybe having some fantastical elements that it, in the end, shied away from. So I am pleased to report that 1927's The Cat and the Canary is our first film in the collection that qualifies as horror. It's more in line with a horror comedy, but still, there is definitely horror in there, so finally, a film in this collection lives up to this collection. Is it any good though? It's entertaining enough to not have me looking at my watch during its 80-minute runtime. Its horror elements are just as concentrated on as its comedic ones, so that's nice. A lot of the time with horror comedies, you either get too much horror or too much comedy. You don't get a good balance of both. Sometimes this works, like with the first Scary Movie, but sometimes it doesn't work, like Scary Movie 2. But in the 1927 version of The Cat and the Canary, the balance is done well. I say the 1927 version because this film has been remade a couple times, 1939 and 1978 to be exact. I haven't seen either of them, but I must admit my interest is piqued now after seeing the original. Several relatives meet at a mansion on the 20th anniversary of the owner's death to hear the reading of his will to see who will get the substantial fortune he left behind. The one big thing in this movie I don't like is the multiple mentions of cats and canaries. I believe the concept is brought up 4 times, which for an 80-minute movie averages to once every 20 minutes. I get that you wanted to remind us of the title, but holy balls, that is overkill. I did like this movie, and I appreciated the horror element finally being represented in the American Silent Horror Film Collection, but it doesn't go any further than that. Which is why I'm going to give the film a B- for being better than average, but not good enough to really be of any note. Join me tomorrow when we talk the fourth film in the American Silent Horror Film Collection, an early version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which has been made and remade dozens of times throughout the years. See y'all then.